Hey guys, today I'm going to be unboxing the Master Grade Hyaku-Shiki 2.0. This kit was sent to me by MindFenix Hobby Store, so a big thank you to them. This kit is really awesome. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this. I like the design of the Hyaku-Shiki, but I never got the original Master Grade or the second version of the Master Grade just because I didn't think they ever looked very good, and I think probably a lot of people would agree. And that's why I think a lot of us were very pleased that we're getting this new 2.0. So this kit is brand new, just came out I think just about 1 month ago, so I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it. I think they did an awesome job with the gold as well from what I've seen in the pictures. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like actually in person as soon as we get this box open. I've taken a peek inside, but I haven't actually got the runners out of the bags to see that gold up close at all. I know a lot of people are still wanting to strip that gold and repaint it themselves. I think it's definitely a good option if that's something you want to do. I'm not sure yet. I'll just have to see how it looks. If it looks good how it is, might just leave it and just paint everything else. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look around the outside of the box. On the top and the bottom, it's just going to be our same cover art there again. And then let's go around onto the side here. You can see we've got an action shot thing about the backpack and the shoulder. The shoulder joint looks really cool. Of course, it is a 2.0 kit, and as we've come to expect with pretty much every 2.0 kit that we've got, they're really, really nice. Here's some more about the body and the movement, some nice waist movement there, front and back, side to side. And of course, the knee is going to be very posable, movable, because it's kind of like a half transforming. Then the ankles as well, that looks good. Some moving armor on the back of the leg, that looks good. Thing about the flexible binder there. And then here's just showing you what it's going to look like just out of the box without doing any painting. So I think they're just trying to show off that gold and just how good it looks and how you could get away with not doing any painting if you really wanted to. It's definitely an option, I'm sure, for some people. This kit retails for 6,800 yen. It's definitely not cheap, but of course you're paying mostly for that nice gold on there. So here we got a nice front and rear view of the mobile suit. Then a bit about the camera eye. We have 3 different options for the camera eye. One that's just black, one that has some red kind of like digital things going on there, and then one that just has regular red eyes. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure which one I'll use. Probably not just the plain black one, that's a little bit boring. But possibly just like the kind of digital thing going on there. It looks pretty cool. And I've heard that those are actually 3 different separate parts too as well, so if you wanted to paint that instead of using the sticker, you can paint it as well, which is good. A little bit about the leg unit. I'm still not exactly sure why they keep showing off that it can bend like that. There's not really any reason for it to. I guess it's just that it's like accurate to the design of the Hyaku-Shiki, that it was supposed to be a transforming mobile suit, but then was kind of that was kind of abandoned for it, I guess. That's I guess the story of the Hyaku-Shiki, as far as I know. And the figure, of course, the cockpit hatch opens. It's a pretty cool mechanism how the cockpit hatch opens. The 2 doors kind of go to the side and then it lifts up. Then we've got our figures seated and standing quattro vagina there, and weapons. The weapons look a little bit plain in my opinion, but we'll have to see once we get those together. I know it's sharing the same runners with the RE, so anyway, and then joint parts. These are just our parts. If you get the P Bandai online exclusive Balut pack, you can use that with this kit using these parts that it comes with, and then of course markings, which I'm guessing are going to be some dry transfer markings in there. So let's get open and see for sure what everything we have in here. Our first bag right off the bat is some shiny gold. It looks really nice. I can see already that the gold is actually a little bit inconsistent. Just on some of these larger parts, I can see the color is not totally consistent, but we'll take a closer look at that a little bit later. Anyway, there's 1 bag of gold. 2 bags of gold. That's just the same runner actually. 3 bags, so I guess we've got 3 bags or 3 runners of gold parts, each in their own bag. That's good, so they're nice and taken care of. Our 4th bag is just some other parts there. We can see 1 more gold, but it's not plated gold, just gold plastic. Bag number 5 is pretty loaded here. We've got our clear yellow effect parts, and then 2 frame runners and polycaps. Bag 6 has some more inner frame and some red parts. Bag 7, I think, is the same thing, more red parts and inner frame. And bag number 8, there we can see is some more inner frame and our stickers, all of that in there. Okay, then of course we've got an advertisement for the Mega Bazooka Launcher, Premium Bandai exclusive, as well as the Balut Pack there. A advertisement for some Gundam diorama front. I think this is some new game. And then another game. I don't really care about that. And then our manual. Let's go ahead and take a look at this now. Alright, MSN-00100 Hyaku-Shiki. Here is looking pretty cool with our box art there. On the back, got just a nice big picture of the kit all painted up and just marked up. Usually we don't have any markings on these pictures that they show in the manual. They don't ever put the markings on there for those. But here, of course, we have the 100, the kanji here for 100 there on the shoulders. I guess that's pretty obligatory to the Hyaku-Shiki's design. I think you kind of have to have that on there. We'll take a look at the middle section first. Here it says MS Tracks in UC 00887. And yeah, just a little bit about the story of the Hyaku-Shiki within the Zeta storyline. Then our painting guide here for the mobile suit, painting guide for the figures, and then just before and after using panel line marker or however you want to panel line the kit. You can of course add some nice definition to it. And then here about the Hyaku-Shiki Mechanism. Again, this is mostly stuff we saw on the outside of the box, except for this new picture here showing some of the inner frame. It is a 2.0, so of course we can expect the inner frame to be really nice. I think no one's really going to be too surprised by that. A bit about the weapons, then a bit about Check It. I guess these are two other, these are all mobile suits from the series. Of course, the Zeta and the Mark II also have their own 2.0 kits, and the DJ now has its RE kit there. Whoa, open up to the first page and there's a lot of Japanese text here. I guess it's a lot about the mobile suit and the story. I know the Hyaku-Shiki is a big fan favorite for a lot of Char fans and a lot of Zeta fans, which there are quite a lot of those people out there, so I guess that would be some good reading for all of those people in Japan or people who can read Japanese. Here on our parts list, going through the runners, I can see here on the E runner we've got a couple of X'd out parts there. And that's basically it. So just 2 parts that are X'd out, and those look to be the figures actually. So the E-Runners runner we have doubles of, so you're going to have doubles of the pilot figure. That's pretty cool. Seated figure is not really going to do a whole lot of good for you, but you'll have 2 different standing figures. That's really cool. You can paint them up in like slightly different colors or something if you wanted. That's cool, if you like painting those anyway. Not everyone does. A bit about just basic construction there. And then how to use the dry transfer decals, how we're going to be going in order for the different steps, starting off with the body unit first, then going on, finishing that up, then going on to the head unit, and then on the arm unit. Once again, this is the kind of guide that shows you which runners you need for this specific step. If you like doing that, I personally don't think that really saves you a whole lot of time. Never used that, but you might if you want, I guess. Looks like our fingers are going to be the 3-in-1 separated fingers, but it does have the separate parts, so each finger is in 2 different parts. Sorry, there's a glare there, you can't see that. So that's what our hands are going to be like. Then on to the waist, and finishing that up. Then the legs. Skip our middle page. Legs and legs. Leg unit, leg unit, leg unit. Leg unit, quite a lot of stuff going on in the legs there. Then onto the backpack. Backpack should be pretty simple, I guess. Pretty straightforward. How to put the backpack on. Onto our weapons. Those should be pretty simple too, as you could imagine. How to mount the weapons. How to change the eyepiece inside the head. How to mount it on action base. How to use the balut system if you get that. Blah blah blah, and then where to place all of our markings here. So let's go ahead now and take a look at all of the runners. Okay, starting off with the foil stickers there, we can see our 3 different options for the eyes, 3 different green stickers there for some different cameras, and then 8 different small black stickers that I guess are going to be going around maybe on some of the gold parts for just some little black details. Then we have our sticker decals. These are just our kind of regular marking decals. If anyone wants these, just let me know. These are up for grabs. I'll send these to you, as looks like not really any of these are specific to the Hyaku-Shiki, so that's cool. These would be pretty much useful for anything you want to put them on in 1/100 scale, if you're the kind of person who does like to use these stickers. And then we have our dry transfers as well. These look really nice. A couple of the Hyaku kanjis there, a couple of these delta symbols as well, and some Ayug symbols there. And that's those are looking really, really nice. Then we have our Beam Saber effect parts. This is Saber 1. So these are just normal 1/100 scale Beam Sabers, but instead of pink, which they're most often in, these are now molded in clear yellow. Here's our polycap runner. This is PC 211. It's pretty large, but they're pretty well spaced apart, so not really a whole lot of polycaps on there. I'm guessing we're just going to be using mostly just plastic on plastic for the majority of the connections. Runner A is our only multicolored runner here, as we've got the dark blue there for mostly the parts on the chest, and the body and the backpack. We've got one molded gold piece here that's going to be going on our beam rifle. And then these parts here are molded in silver. When I was first taking the bag out of the box, I thought they were gray, but they're actually molded in silver for a couple of these kind of joint parts, I think mostly what those are. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different clear parts there on the top. So those are 3 different eye pieces, and then a couple of camera pieces there as well. So that's pretty cool. Runner B is a big sheet of frame parts. This is in that kind of slightly brown, dark gray color. So these look really nice. Of course, these are going to be most of our larger pieces. There are a couple of armor pieces there for the stomach that are not actually part of the inner frame, but here we can see a lot of that. There's some of our hands and our cockpit seat there as well. Here's the C runner, and we do have 2 of these, quite a lot of doubles in this kit. So this is the C runner, just more inner frame parts. There's our parts for the fingers as well, and all of that. Here's the D runner. This is once again a double, just more inner frame parts, all still in that same color, of course. So just quite a lot of inner frame going on with this kit, but that's never a bad thing. Runner E is in this kind of dark red color, and once again we have doubles of this runner as well. Here's our pilot figures that we're going to have doubles of, and then these are just parts for the feet, and then just some other kind of red details around on the kit. These are our ammo for the bazooka as well, so we're going to have some of that and everything on there. Here's the H runner, and this is kind of a special runner, as here on the side we've got our parts for attaching the balut system, and then these are the parts here for making the bazooka and the beam rifle. The other interesting thing about this is if we take a closer look, it says 1/100 scale Zeta Weapon 1. So these are not weapons that you're going to be getting with the Zeta Gundam, as this runner is from 2015, so this is a new runner. But we're going to be getting the same runner with the Hyaku-Shiki 2.0 as well as the RE-DJ. So those kits will both be using the exact same weapons. It's kind of interesting. Then our first gold runner is runner F, and the gold is looking really good. As we can kind of see from this side, it's pretty obvious that they just kind of spray it in just a regular chrome, and then they spray just a clear yellow on top of that. I think the clear yellow is not really a lot, which is good because we don't want it looking too yellow. But let's take a closer look. And you can see, though, I'm not sure how well you're able to see it on camera, but the yellow is a little bit inconsistent. I think once you've got all the suit like all put together, you're not going to notice that at all. But if you were to look at it really closely, I think the coloring of the yellow is, like I said, just slightly inconsistent, but I don't think that's going to be something that's really gonna bother me like at all. So anyway, it does look really, really nice. And our last runner is runner G, and this is once again a runner that we do have doubles of, so just 2 shiny gold G runners, and these are just some more of our gold armor parts here. There's of course the parts for the backpack and the legs there, and just kind of everywhere else. They do seem to be pretty resilient, just from touching the paint. I don't really feel like it's going to be too easy to like chip that paint, but of course you do still want to be careful with it. I would keep the runner in the bag while you're building it and just take it out when you need to remove parts, just to kind of keep these from smashing too much into the other runners while you're building it. But I do, just Just as I'm saying that, I'm noticing here on one of my parts I do have a scratch there, so that's pretty disappointing. I'll have to see if maybe I can just take that off. But that's a little bit disappointing. I don't know. Anyway, but hopefully the rest of the parts are okay. I haven't really looked at them too closely, but I would imagine they should be, as they're all come packed in their own separate bags. That's actually a little bit surprising that that has that scuff on there. I'll have to see if I can get that off. Anyway, that does it for all of the runners. So that is it for unboxing the Master Grade Hyaku-Shiki 2.0. It looks really awesome. I can't wait to get this under construction, and then I'll be able to show it to you guys in the upcoming next video, which will be the out-of-box review for it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then.